Hi friends, this is Tim Schrock from Design Build Solutions. On today's Tech Tip Tuesday, I'm going to walk through existing conditions and how I model them from field sketches. Let's get started. Hey, thanks for watching these videos. Would you consider supporting me on Patreon? The link is in the description below. For the cost of a cup of coffee each month, that helps encourage me. It helps pay for the cost of production and the time that I put into these. I enjoy sharing this information with you. Would you consider giving back? As I said, a couple bucks a month, $5 a month. There's also tiers available if you need help each month. You can send in your plans and I will help resolve those for you. Check that out, patreon.com/designbuildsolutions. Thank you so much. Yes, in remodeling, we have to start with field sketches. And here is a sketch I received from the field from a client that needs this drawn up. Now, I've got the kitchen, I've got the dining room, I've got... This is, we're going to put a deck on the exterior out here, and the second floor is going to happen in a laundry room. So let's start with the kitchen. You'll notice that we have, I like to ask for overall dimensions, so 17.1 by 143.25. Now this is a great reason why I put in my template, my as-built dimensions have primary and secondary numbers turned on. One dimension in one direction is shown feet and inches. The next is shown as inches. So let's show that. I've drawn the basic outline here. Let me draw some. So I'm going to give 17'1". Also, my as-built dimension set is shown as drywall to drywall because typically you're measuring an existing finished space and that's what you're measuring. Now if you are measuring sometimes I go into a project that has been renovated or started renovation, and so drywall has come off and I'm measuring stud to stud. You'll want to be aware of that and change that location when you open up. If you're using my template or your template there, and open up and change that location so it is measuring stud to stud. 17.1, let's draw an interior wall here, and this is 143 inches. I don't need to enter the inch mark because Chief knows we're working in inches for now. So let me take a quick interior dimension this way and this way. So quickly, just visually, I can see 17.1 left to right and 143 top to bottom. I don't have to do the mental math. That's why I have primary and secondary turned on. Primary is foot inches units, secondary is inches. Let's go back to our field sketches. All right, dining room is 207, and I was not given the vertical dimension on that, so let's do that here. I'm going to break this wall by Command B if you're on a PC, or Control B if you're on a Mac. So there's 207. I'm going to have to figure out C windows are 33 3/4 wide. And 60 inches tall, 84.5 header. 26.5 out of the corner. 15.25. 26 out of that corner. So let's there's our dining room. Kitchen, I'm going to double click on this. Dining. 100 inches is the ceiling in the dining room. And 100 inches in the kitchen. So I'm going to click on my default settings and click on the floors and rooms. Floor level platform. That's fantastic here. Now in my template I have 3/4 inch air gap because most of my projects are in the East Coast where they use 1x3 strapping between the ceiling joists or floor joists above and the gypsum or blue board and plaster, whatever the material is. So if you don't want that, I would suggest deleting that layer and saving that as your template. Floor levels. I'm going to do first floor, and the finished ceiling is 100. If we do relative height, finished ceiling at 100, Chief will figure out what the framing height is from subfloor to ceiling joist based on the material thickness of floor, finished floor, and ceiling finish. So with a 100 inch finished floor to finished ceiling, I've got a 102.25 framing height. And then we double click on here and you see 102.25. Fantastic. Now out here we also have this little room, so to speak, that has a door. 33.5 inch window. .84-inch header. That's 31 inches out of the corner. And we've got a 32x80 door. And that is 48 inches away from the window. 59 inches from the corner. 59.5. So I'm 1 inch off when I add up these strings here. If I'm within an inch, I'm okay with that. That has always worked out well for me. All right. 53 3/4 inside. Now, the way this is drawn, 48.5 from the door to the wall. Now, I don't want to move the door, so I've got to dimension this window. Is it 48.25, 48.5? .53. It's 61. That's an interesting number. So that tells me there must be a pretty thick wall here. 61 from inside of kitchen to inside of this little cubicle there. .26 1/4 is this window. Now sometimes it might be extremely busy to have both primary and secondary, so you can uncheck the default formatting and uncheck include. Go to primary and just change that to inches because that's what was measured. I'm at 26 1/4. Oh no, 30 and 3/8 is the window. So I know the door is set here because of this dimension. I'm going to delete those points. That was given to me from inside the kitchen. Then from this jamb we go 48 1/2 to the wall. Now I'm going to start from this wall 26 1/4, 30 3/8 to the window, and 28 3/4 to the wall here. (32 by 80). (40 3/4). And then steps to grade. Four treads. There we go. There's the main part of the kitchen. Let's add the windows. 30 3/4 wide, 60 inches tall, 84 head height. Let's double click on this. Okay, I looked at the pictures and these are 2/1 lights. So let's change to no lights in the bottom. Window defaults, exterior sash is not slate, it is white. So I'm going to go to plan material, use default. Okay, default color is slate. That means I can go to my default material settings. Window sash is color bone. Interesting. Because that is not what, there we go, color bone, there we go. We had two, yes, oh, there it is, 2/1, 30 3/4. We're going to be 10 3/4 out of the corner. And 9 inches out of this corner. There's a chimney here, 88 3/4 from the wall. Now notice, because I carved a room, so to speak, out of the kitchen, it automatically gave that room the kitchen definition. And so I'm just going to delete that room label. Notice you can enter 88 3/4 by fractions or decimals. And that's 26.5 wide. Interesting, I don't want to show the room label. You can delete the room label or just open the dialog box and say you do not show. 32 by 80. And that is 28 5/8, 30 1/4. Once again, I'm 7/8 of an inch off because this is supposed to be 30 1/4. That's totally fine with me. That number there. This is a 15 light door. So I'm going to make it a glass panel and give it 3 wide, 5 tall. This window is 55 3/4 tall. And that is okay. I'm going to save this. Let's go back to my dining room. We've got another window here. Let's make sure these got the lights in it. Did not. And that is 86.5 from the corner. Now I've got a little bit of a 3.5 by 13.5. I could do this a couple different ways. Probably the simplest is a soffit. So I'm just going to hit T on my keyboard. And that's going to be 13.5, 100, 3.5. Going to sit on the floor, so 0 to bottom. Adjust height, used for floor finish, is fantastic. And lastly, I'm going to put this on the wall layer because this is not a soffit per se. I want to see it as a normal wall. I know it's a soffit, that's what the material is, but I want it to be seen on the walls layer. And we could even give that, say, a fill if we wanted to, but I'm not going to. Now, as I drew this wall, the siding got shown on the inside, so I'm going to select both of these and click this little tool to reverse the layers. And then we're going to draw this bathroom in here. So the reason I drew this as a room is twofold. One is if it's an interior room to room, the door will show as an interior door, and I can give this a label called bathroom Full bath, this is 28 by 80 door. It's going to flip that direction, and it is going to be 1 inch off of that, so 4.5 off of the main wall. There's also going to be a 31-inch opening 6 inches away into the living room. And then lastly, we've got a 4-panel 24 by 80 door going in the kitchen. That's 4 inches out of the corner. And this will be our stairs. I'm not going to deal with making a basement level because we don't need to. We just showed stairs down. That's fine. Lastly, I'm going to draw a cross block on the wall layer for this chimney. Quickly, there is a kitchen and dining room laid out. We could look at the pictures, and I will add more for the exterior, for the kitchen cabinetry and appliances and such. But essentially, this floor plan is about done. I hope this has been helpful. If you like what you've seen here, you have the option of purchasing my template. You have the option of supporting the education and information that I put out each week by becoming a Patreon member. The link is in the description below. Please, if you like this information, leave a like, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you get notified each week. Also, check out my website, www.designbuildsolutionsllc.com. Thanks so much for watching. Have a wonderful week.